Hey, and welcome everybody. It's Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust, the podcast. Hope you're all doing really well today. And it is the day after Thanksgiving, and I don't know about you, but I think I gained 10 pounds. I think I did. I think I gained about 10 pounds. You too? Yeah. I gained about 10 pounds. I'm talking to one of my producers over here. And so, a lot of turkey, a lot of family, a lot of friends, that kind of stuff. And it was just a marvelous time. Just a marvelous time that we had over at the Ray household. Don't know if you know this, I've got a huge family. Just a huge family. Excuse me, I got to clear my throat there. And large family, and when they all get together, it is like just a huge event. Well, what do we have on the show today? Well, today we're going to talk about some serious things. We're going to talk about, is America already under attack? This is going to be a pivotal show. I believe it really is. I think it's going to speak to some of the concerns that people have. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about some of the things that have been going on in the nation over the last week, and about a new show. Got a new show that we're going to be highlighting today. And so that and so much more, folks, on In God We Still Trust. We'll be back in just a second. Stay tuned. All right, and folks, we are back. Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust, and I hope you do. You still trust in God. And let me start off really quick, folks, by just kind of highlighting something that is that's pretty much obvious. Excuse me. We just came off our Thanksgiving holiday, and if you watch the show, if you've been following the show the last couple of weeks, we really get into the founding fathers, what they believed, the Christian background, the Christian foundations, principles, the guiding principles of this nation. And so we did a special, what Thanksgiving is really all about, just a couple of days ago. And I hope you got into that. I really did. And so I'm really praying that as we continue on with the podcast, that people are starting to get more of it. What has happened over the last number of years is I've been really ahead of the curve on a lot of issues. And I can't name them off the top of my head, but I've been noticing that. I'm going, man, you're really ahead. It seems like you're talking about something, then all of a sudden people start talking about it. And one of the stories, we won't have a chance to talk about it today, but it's something I was just talking about just a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned it, and now it is starting to come in the news. So just keep it. The reason why I say all this, folks, is you are on the cutting edge of societal evolution, the societal evolution of our society, if you're watching this show. Just saying. Because we tend to be ahead of things. And this show is going to be one of those shows. So lock it in, guys. Lock it in, and you're gonna find out that you're ahead of the curve. So before we get going too much further, I want to remind you that if you love this show, and I know many of you do, go ahead and write to us at ingodwestilltrust1@gmail.com. That's ingodwestilltrust1@gmail.com. You can also check out the show on our Godstream channel, on GodstreamTV.com, and of course on YouTube. Encourage you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and you will actually, every time we do a show, you'll actually be able to get it up. Also, we're on Instagram, X, and Facebook. So you can actually check us out on Facebook. We post all the time on Facebook all the time. So, and I believe we're going to start a show on Rumble. Yeah, we're going to be on Rumble too. So it's going to be very cool. And guys, we've got a new show. We've got a new show that we're highlighting, and I'm really excited about it. And it's called Before Stupid. And I know you're Before Stupid. That just sounds so stupid. Here's how this show came about. My wife and I were talking one day, and we were just kind of talking about, the way America used to be and the things. I think what we were doing is we were watching the Bernie Mac show. And Bernie Mac, many of you know, he was a comedian. And he passed away a few years back. But his shows are still in syndication, so they still come on TV. And so Bernie Mac was talking about this, that, and the other thing. And he tended to be fairly irreverent. And so I got to say, if you watch his shows, you've got to be kind of geared up for that. But he said a few things that I thought, oh, he probably would never get away with that now. Yeah, my wife goes, yeah, before stupid, he would have been, that was fine, but now you can't say these things. And I went, oh my gosh, honey, what a great name for a website. Before Stupid. It's kind of like, you highlight all the things that are just that were just fine. Okay, jokes. But now with this whole woke culture, you can't say any of this stuff or people will poo-poo you. And so it's a bunch of articles. I mean, just a ton of articles about it. We'll highlight some in just a couple of minutes, but you got to go to the website. It's called beforestupid.com. beforestupid.com, and you can check it out. You will just love it, and it'll give you a big chuckle. Let's get to our first story before we go to a break here, folks. So this first story is really about something, and many of you saw this video, and what the video was a video of, I believe it was 8 Democrat lawmakers, and what they did is they came on and they said, you must disobey orders. You don't have to obey orders, illegal orders from your commanders. And there were like 8 of them, and one of them was what's the guy's name? He's an idiot is what he is. He was a former NASA guy, and now he's a senator. Forgot the guy's name, but there's a lady, a Democrat. Her name is Alyssa Slotkin. She was asked specifically, well, guys, you keep talking about these illegal orders that you're getting, and you're fomenting tension within the ranks. So what illegal order were these military guys given that you guys were saying that you can disobey? And they've asked a lot of these guys the same question. They said, well, which orders what specific orders were they given that are illegal orders that they should disobey? And here's the thing about it, is you got people from all branches of the military saying this is ridiculous. That when you as a sitting senator or a congressman start saying stuff like this, what you're doing is you're telling people to disobey orders. Lawful orders given by the commander-in-chief, or lawful orders given by whoever your superior is. And that could be insurrection. That could be, you guys, especially when you're in a heated, in a firefight or something like that, and your commanding officer goes, go ahead and shoot, or go, do whatever you got. And then the guy goes, well, I don't know. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Well, they asked Alyssa Slotkin. Now, Alyssa Slotkin was a former CIA intelligence officer, and she said, so they asked her if she could identify any illegal order issued by President Trump. And this is, these folks are trying to get you. The mainstream media is trying to find, is there an illegal order that Trump gave? She couldn't give one. Could not give one. Slotkin and 5 other Democrats who served in the military or intelligence agencies appeared in a video urging fellow service people to disregard illegal orders issued by Trump. But she could not give one. And here's where we're at as a country, folks. if this had happened and a Republican had said something about this, if a Republican said, "Hey, you guys don't follow the orders of your superiors, don't do it, guys, because they're illegal orders," guess what? It would be plastered all over the news. No doubt about it. It'd be plastered all over the place. But Democrats do it, and it's being amplified by the military going, "Yeah, you shouldn't follow illegal orders, even though you've never been given an illegal order." Now, what about the servicemen that were on the border when all of these people were allowed to come through? The nearly 20 million or over 20 million people were illegally allowed to come into our country. Where was the mainstream media then? Where was Alyssa Slotkin? Where were all these Democrats then? Oh no, nothing. They were like, I was going to say church mice, but they probably never seen church. This is where we're at, folks. As a country, we need to continue to be vigilant, folks, because we are on the precipice of something that's not good. And I got to tell you, I'm not excited about this, not even a little bit. So, when we come back, we're going to start talking about, is America already under attack, folks? Are we already under attack and we just don't know it yet? We'll talk about it in just a minute. Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust. We'll be back in just a second. Can you imagine that, folks? Can you imagine that we are at, you're fighting a firefight, and then all of a sudden, somebody comes along and they just say, "Hey, is that illegal or is that not illegal?" Let's talk about something. There was an article in Newsmax, and it talked about this guy. The gentleman's name is Walid Faris, and he's been around for a long time. Walid's been around for a long time and a well-respected guy. And he said something very interesting. He said the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, those guys like that. The Muslim Brotherhood's decades-long effort to infiltrate the United States is now visible in ways that can no longer be dismissed. As the movement has been strategically expanding toward America since the 1990s, Walid Faras said on Sunday. Because this is core of my own career over 4 decades, he said, Faras said on Newsmax. He says, "We've seen it in the Middle East before I emigrated, spreading to Syria, to Egypt, elsewhere. There's a whole story about it." He said that he witnessed the Muslim Brotherhood's rise across the Middle East long before it became domestic concerns. And this is really what is at the core of what we're going to talk about today. Is the Muslim Brotherhood, is America under attack from Islamists from within the country? See, here's the thing about it, folks. We are the world's number one superpower. Meaning that we're probably not going to see somebody come and try to overthrow our country. And you're saying, what happened in 9/11? Well, that was a handful of guys who attacked us and killed several thousand people. But they're not going to take over that country by shooting missiles at America. That's not going to happen. But can America see its demise, or the way we're living, downgraded from within? And what do I mean by this? Well, over the last number of years, we've had a proliferation or a spread or I don't know what the word is, an infiltration by Muslims, I'm going to say it, people who are Muslims, into America And these are not friendly Muslims. You know, there's a big difference. Okay, there's always been Muslims in America. I just want to be very clear about this. There's always been people who come from the Middle East, come here. People from Armenia. There have been people from Turkey. There have been people from Iran. Always been people in this country. But by and large, those folks love America. They want to be a part of the American experience. Okay. There have been people from China. There's been people from India, Pakistan, all over the world. People come here. Italy, okay? I'm not going to, you know, Germany, Switzerland, all what you name it. Those people come to America to become a part of the American fabric, okay? Nothing wrong with that at all, okay? America is a big melting pot. But over the last few decades, we've had a rise of a brand of people come to America that I would say do not have America at America's the good things in America. They don't have our good in mind. And these are Islamists who come to our country who not only don't like our brand of way of living, but they want to change it into their brand of living. And it's always the same thing. It's always the same people. It's the same people that have been doing it for decades, literally centuries. And those folks are Islamists. Those people who are Muslims who want to spread Sharia law and change America into the next Muslim enclave. And this is what Waleed is talking about. He's saying, you know, we're watching it happen in front of our eyes. Are we already under attack, America? Because we're watching it now, where you see whole swaths of cities. You've got places in Minneapolis. You've got them in Michigan. You've got places in Texas. You've got them in New York, where you've got not just a few people here and there that are saying, hey, guess what? We want to go to our mosque or whatever and peaceably, you know, worship our God, because that's what makes America America. But you got people who are saying, we are here and this is our zone. You can't come here anymore. What? Yeah, you can't come here anymore. And as a matter of fact, you can't come here at night. We want our own police. You think I'm lying? It is happening already in America. And now you've got people that are going, you know what? They're walking down the street and they're telling our, and I'm as conservative as anybody can imagine. I'm a pastor, you guys. So I'm not into watching women walk around in booty shorts and stuff like that and halter tops. But you know what? I am not their God. Okay? Here's the deal. I cannot go around and tell people how to dress, how to walk, how to talk. Okay? I can pray for them. That's about it. Okay? I can witness to them on the street, but I cannot forcibly tell people you cannot do this or that. That's the difference between Christianity and Islam. Those folks are going around telling people you can't wear this, you can't be here, you can't do this, you can't. Oh, wait a minute. From what I remember, my God says, guess what? I have free choice. You have a choice to follow Jesus or you don't follow Jesus. You have a choice to trust in God or not to trust in God. Excuse me. Oh, boy. We are under attack, folks. Literally under attack as a nation, because now you've got enough of these people in is it in Michigan or is it in Detroit? I think it's in Michigan, someplace. It is in, or I was going to say, excuse me, I was going to say Minnesota. They've got a whole group of Somalis now that are living in this one area. And I know I've talked to some friends who live in these areas, and they're saying, no, they basically own the whole area. and now we're finding the not only the religious part of it, which is incompatible with America, but now they're taking the money and the corruption now is running rampant. And now the president is starting to say, hey, we're cracking down on all this stuff. We're not going to allow people to come to this country who do not love America, who do not want to be a part of the American fabric of life. And a lot of people are going, oh, you're crazy. You can't do that. Yeah, you can. You can definitely do that. If you don't love being in America, if you don't want to be here, then just leave. That's kind of it. Here's the... So let's do this. Let's take a really quick break, folks. This is important. I really want you to get this. Let's do this. Let's take a really quick break. We'll be back in just a second, folks. But this is something you've got to get. This is Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust. We will be back in just a minute. Okay, stay tuned, folks. All right, we are back, folks. Let's talk a little bit more about whether or not America is under attack already. And I think in our last segment we talked a little bit about the proliferation of all these folks who just hate America. There's just no doubt about it. You've got many of you know who Ilhan Omar is and Rashida Tlaib, and these folks are part of what they call the Squad. And the Squad, I think, should be called more like the Squab. These folks are just ugly, ugly people who just seem to think that that they have some right to come into America and say, America, you suck. And as a result of them not liking America, that they can go ahead and they can just try to, destroy America. And I saw Rashida Tlaib on a video. And she's cussing, and she's in front of a bunch of like-minded folks, and she's going, you know what, we're here, and we're not going to take this, and MF this, and everything. And I'm going, oh my gosh, we're gonna go on to something else here, but we as a nation need to come to terms with what is going on in America. Right now, you've got the eyes of the world are on America and what we're going to do. Because in Paris, they're up to here with the whole Islamist thing. England, they've had the same guy who's a Muslim, and he's been their mayor for like 10 years, and he's starting to do. Here's how bad it got. He's going to start making housing projects that are for Muslims only. What? Yes, in London, they're saying now. Instead of it being for, just people, no, it's going to be for Muslims only. And guess what? And now in America, you guys, you don't think it's going to happen here in America. Guess what? They've got this new guy, this Zorham or whatever his name, Mamdani. He's going to do the same thing in New York. He's going to start he's going to start saying to guys, guess what? We're here and everybody needs to listen to us more because we're here. Go, guys, here's the thing that I don't think they get. America is a unique place. We are a Christian nation, yes. Okay, we are just overtly Christian, which is wonderful. We give people the right to do whatever they want to do. This is only peculiar to America, where America says, guess what? You have freedom to practice religion you want. That was the basis of us. One of our basis of our laws is you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, that does not happen in Iran. It doesn't happen in Iraq. It doesn't happen in Saudi Arabia. It doesn't happen in China. It doesn't happen in Russia. It doesn't happen in a lot of these places. Okay, it is unique to America. And guess what? These people are coming over here to America saying we hate America. And I'm going, here's the problem. The only reason why you're able to even say the things and the ridiculous things that you're saying is because of the American form of Christianity and the American form of government, which supports your ability to be a knucklehead. So watch yourselves, because America is not going to bend and break for you. You will not defeat our nation. You will not defeat us from the inside or the outside. The hammer is probably going to fall on you guys in a big way. And either it's the federal government will do something or the people will rise up and say, we're done. We're done with this whole thing. And I'm not advocating violence, folks. Come on. I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. Okay? But Americans will not stand for this. I don't even think the leftists will stand for this. They're pretty crazy. So, we'll see what happens here, folks. We will. I'm flabbergasted by these guys. Let's go on to something else, okay? This was an interesting story. This was in the Christian Post. There's a mom. She's battling for custody of her kid. And this is a strange story. Didn't have a lot of time to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to read it for the first time. Here's the headline of the story. It says, a single mom battling custody orders barring her from taking her daughter to church. You heard it. This is a single mom is challenging a custody order that prohibits her from taking her 12-year-old daughter to a Calvary Chapel church in Maine after a lower court accepted the claim that the denomination is a cult, granting the girl's father the power to determine which religious activities she is allowed to attend. This is amazing. This is a Calvary Chapel. Guys, Calvary Chapel, this mom says, hey, I want to take my kid to church. And the dad's going, no, it's a cult. Really? In combating the December 24th custody order, the mother, her name is Emily, she's receiving legal assistance from Liberty Counsel, a great organization, a Christian legal group, has helped bring mother's case before the Supreme Court of Maine. This is amazing. So the dad, excuse me, says that Calvary Chapel is a cult. Okay? Calvary Chapel says Calvary Chapel is not a cult. This custody order banning Emily from taking her child to a Christian church because its biblically teaching violates the First Amendment, Liberty Counsel founder and chairman Matt Staver said. The breadth of this court order is breathtaking because it even prohibits contact with the Bible. Yeah. This is amazing. Any religious literature or religious philosophy. This is what this court order says. You can't... Guys, the founding fathers would go nuts even hearing this. That she says you can't have a Bible, you can't have contact with a Bible, religious literature, anything religious philosophy. The custody order cannot prohibit the mother from taking her daughter to church. The implication of this order pose a serious threat to religious freedom. You think so? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. That a court, now these courts have been, I'm trying to be very nice about this. These courts have gone bonkers, thinking that they can overturn legal, lawful orders because they've got a robe and they can't be, kicked out of office. They've got to be impeached. The founding fathers would just go nuts at this right now and saying, wait, what do you mean this mom can't take her child to church? You guys, this is what the founding fathers envisioned everybody should be doing. Going to church. What I wonder what the court orders, if the dad wanted to take or if the mom wanted to take her kid, pimping, or going to a porno. They'd go, oh, that's fine. That's just wonderful. This is amazing. This is an amazing. Can you believe that? I thought you guys would think that was crazy, but there's no doubt that is a crazy, crazy story. Let me get you to something else. Oh, let me tell you something really quick here. So we've got a new show that's going to be, it's going to be a podcast too. But right now it's a website. It's called Before Stupid. And Before Stupid really highlights the woke agenda in our nation, the woke culture, and we just call it stupid. Instead of calling it woke, we just call it stupid. Okay? So before wokeness or before stupid, there are some things in America you could do. Like take your kid to church. This is one of those. Okay, that last story, before stupid, this would have been a no-brainer. Okay, a no-brainer. You want to take your kid to church? You better believe it. Okay? A lot of dads are going, yeah, you take her, I don't want to go. Okay? Go ahead, Mom. You take her to church. But so go check this out. Great articles. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to that website right now. Can I do that right now? I'm going to do it really quick, guys. I know we're running out of time. Matter of fact, we're going to go over time. We're not going to have time. Okay. Before Stupid. Just go there to Before Stupid, and you will be able to check it out. Okay. Great articles in it. Got a great staff of writers already just churning them out. And you will love them like you wouldn't believe, okay? Let's take one more quick break, folks. We'll end. We got a really short story that we're going to talk about before we end, guys. You'll love it. And we'll be back in a second for more of In God We Still Trust. This is Pastor Sherman Ray. We'll be back in just a minute. Hang on. All right, we are back, you guys. We are back, folks, and I thought we'd have enough time to get this next story. We don't. We're over. We're running out of time, you guys. But we want to invite you once again, folks. Check out the website God We Still Trust. GodWeStillTrust.com. You can email us. We'd love to hear you. Email us, folks, because it would just be wonderful to hear from you, folks, to let us know that you love us, that you know that you love what we're doing here In God We Still Trust. You can also follow us on our YouTube, Instagram, on Facebook. We'd love for you to hit us up, folks, and and when we come back next week, folks, we're going to talk about some other crazy things that are going on in this world, folks. It's been Pastor Sherman Ray for In God We Still Trust. You guys have a wonderful day in the Lord. We will see you again next week. Bye-bye.